Hello and welcome back to my students. We are studying services marketing. So far we've seen the meaning of services. We also now know the characteristics of services. Well, in this module we will be doing the 7 P's of the services marketing mix. Services marketing definition as per American Marketing Association defines services marketing as an organizational function and a set of processes for identifying or creating, communicating and delivering value to customers and for managing customer relationship in a way that benefit the organization and stakeholders. Now, how is it done? How are services marketing? Well, services can be marketed using the 7 P's of the services marketing mix. There are 7 P's whenever servicing marketing mix. Traditionally, for goods, the number of P's are 4, which is product, price, place and promotion. Whereas when we talk about the marketing mix for services, in addition to the 4 P's, there are 3 new P's that we will be speaking about. The 5th one is people, 6th is process and the 7th is physical evidence. So students, this is what the services marketing mix looks like. We have 7 P's here and these 7 components begin with product, price, place, promotion. We also have people, processes and physical evidence. All of these 7 components comprise the services marketing mix. Well, first one is the product. In product, we have various levels of a product, starting with the core product. Core product is the main benefit that the customer gets on consuming the product, which is satisfaction of his need. For example, if a person is thirsty, the want is for water. So the core product becomes your water. It is the basic benefit. Water is quenching the thirst. So that is the core product. Well, generic or a facilitating product is the product which should be present in order for the customer to use the core product. So in case of water, the facilitating or the generic product will become a bottle of water. So the bottle which also becomes of the part of the product. The bottle in which you are selling the water or a glass in which you are serving the water becomes a generic or a facilitating product. Then you have the supporting product. There is any addition to the generic product becomes the facilitating product. For example, if I want to chill my water, I need a refrigerator. So that's a supporting product to serving water. Augmented product is basically additional features in the atmosphere you want to incorporate. So in case of augmented product, it would be if you are seated comfortably on a clean sofa, with air conditioning surrounding, it becomes a part of the augmented product. Augmented product is the physical evidence which is created to serve the product. And finally, you have the potential product, which is what a product can be in the future. So if a person's thirsty, he wants water, you can simply give him water, you can give him chilled water, or you could make a fresh lime water for him to quench his thirst on a hot summer day. So potential product is anticipating the need of the customer and to step up your product. Well students, in this slide we talk about continuum of goods and services. Continuum means there is a continuity between goods and services. So some are purely goods. So here we see this side which is purely goods, this end, and then we have this side which is purely services. And then we have various products in between, which is a combination of goods and service. For example, if you go to a restaurant, maybe a restaurant will feature somewhere here. A restaurant is neither pure goods nor is it a pure service. It is a combination of goods, which is the food that you order, the beverage which you order is goods, which is a product, And you have the service. A service would be the ambience, the seating, the person who's serving you. That's a service. So usually we see a product could be a pure good like salt, sugar, toothpaste, which is a very standardized physical product, or it could be a very intangible service like a consultancy, teaching, and then you have a lot of options that fall in between. So most of the products are a combination of goods and service. I would want you all to think, if I talk about teaching, which figures here, means that it is more of a service, but it also has certain aspects of goods to it. I want you to take a minute and think about it. What is the tangible in teaching? And similarly, you may have internet connection, you may have mobile connection, which is again a combination of the goods, which is your actual connectivity, and also service. Going to a bank again would be a combination of goods, which is your actual facilities you're getting, like money keeping, the interest that you're earning on it, plus it is also a service. So I want you to take a moment, look at the diagram and think about various products and where they feature on this continuum of goods and services. Well, students, services involve a form of rental through which customers can obtain benefit, which is what we're going to talk about now. Unlike in goods, where we buy goods, it leads to ownership. In case of services, we know that we can only hire or rent services for a short time duration or for a particular experience. We cannot really own these experiences. Customers are willing to pay for aspirational experiences and solutions that add value to their lifestyle. The term rent can be used as a generic term to describe payment made for use of something or to access to skills and expertise or facilities and networks, usually for a defined period of time, instead of buying it outright, which is not even possible in case of services. Well, there are 5 broad categories of services within the non-ownership framework. The first one is renting of an experience. So these are rented goods services. These services enable customers to obtain the temporary right to use a physical goods that they prefer not to own. So example could be a boat. You can hire it. A bicycle, you can hire it for some time and experience the benefits of using it. Then the second, you have the defined space and place rentals. These services obtain use of a defined portion of a larger space in a building, vehicle, or any other physical area that they can use and not really own it. For example, a storage container in a warehouse, or simply it's a means to the end. For example, a restaurant when you go out for a meal, or an airline when you're flying to reach from one place to the other. The third type of rental in services is labor and expertise. Whenever that you're using human beings or people which are hired to perform a specialized task for you. For example, you hire somebody to clean the house, or you hire the services of a lawyer or a doctor or security personnel. Then you are renting out their expertise or experience or their labor. Okay. Moving further, we have access to shared physical environments, which means that these environments can be indoors or outdoors, where customers rent the right to share and the use of that environment. For example, if you go to an amusement park, or if you go to a museum, or if you go to a gym or golf course or school or university, these are all shared environments that you can use or rent out. Usage. Next and the last one is access to and usage of systems and networks. So here the customer is subscribing to a particular usage of network. So if you have Netflix or if you have Hotstar, so any kind of telecommunication or banking, insurance are good example of renting out a service through system or network. I hope you're clear with this. After hiring, we will now talk about various services. So here you have, please guess it. Yes, it's customer service. Now we have a picture of another kind of service. These are cleaning service. This picture talks about, yes, pest control services. Here you have services of hairdresser or spa or hair salon or a beauty parlor. Then you have courier service or a delivery service. This picture talks about plumbing, which is also a service. And then you have the ambulance service or hospital, which is also a service. You have delivery or home delivery services. Petrol is another kind of service. Well, this is call center services, catering services, and here you have a bank, which is a service right from your ATM tellers waiting their problems. So that was a bank picture. This service talks about dish antenna or DTH service we're all dependent upon. This service talks about e-commerce. This is insurance selling service, and obviously a holiday is also a service. Well, when we talk about a product, which we will not do it now, but in the next following module, as far as product is concerned, including services product, in the next module, these are the topics we will be talking about in great detail. Product life cycle, which is PLC, new product development, which is NPD, branding, positioning, and differentiation. Okay, students, now we move to the second component of the services marketing mix, and this is called price. Price, as we know, is the amount of money that is charged in exchange for the product or service. Well, price should consider not only the cost required in building the product, but it should have a markup of profits and the end selling price that is made available in the market in exchange for the product. Care has to be taken that the pricing is correctly priced. If it's overpriced, it's going to be difficult because the demand is going to be affected and there'll be not too many takers. And underpricing is also not good because it kills it adversely affects the profitability of the organization. Price is the only component in the marketing mix which brings you the revenue. The remaining 6 components of the marketing mix are all cost centers. So all the more important to rightly play with the pricing of the product. Whenever that we are pricing services, there are 4 things that you have to take into account. One is time of payment. Many services extend over a long period of time. For example, stay in a hostel or hospitalization or school fees, college fees for the semester of the year. Now during this time the service is provided for a long period of time. You want to identify when is it that you will ask the customer to pay for it. Would it be at the time of placing the order? Would it be on the first day when the service is initiated, during the service encounter, or at the termination of the service encounter? While offering this payment option, you can also see if you want to ask for 100% advance or do you want to allow installments that can be paid. The second point is method of payment. Well, you can give the customers various options to pay by whichever method that he's most comfortable with. After demonetization, we've seen that cash has long gone and now everyone prefers to pay electronically, especially over their mobile wallets, which was not the case earlier. So there's a whole lot of options for payments like FPOS, direct transfer, cash, debit card, credit card, check that can be raised to settle payments. Another important thing is regulation of pricing. Now, what is regulation by pricing? Well, in case of certain industries, the government interferes and certain services are subject to public regulation. Now, these services are basically for the community or society at large. For example, healthcare or public transports, which are necessities, and you don't want to overprice them. So there is certain kind of government regulation when it comes to pricing like that. Services are subject to formal self-regulation in case of universities and school. Services are also subject to regulation of the marketplace. So it's market-driven, competition-driven. For example, in hospitality, tourism, etc. In situations where the service is subject to some type of public regulation, the government departments establish ceiling prices, which effectively limit the amount that can be charged. Now, this especially is also seen in case of petrol, diesel, healthcare, like I mentioned, railway transport, and things like that. Well, the last one is social pricing. The concept of social pricing is more important for service marketeers. A social price refers to non-financial aspects of price. Now we have 4 types of social pricing, which is time, effort, lifestyle, and psyche. In effect, it means that the consumers may be more accurately aware of the opportunity cost associated with the consumption of a service. In practice, this may mean that consumers of services experience a heightened sense of temporal risk. So here we've studied in brief what the second component, price, is all about in services. Moving to the next one, pricing in particularly in services. Well, there are different names for different types of price which is charged for service. For example, the price is called rent when you rent out an apartment. It is called tariff in case of hotel rooms. It's called a package for a holiday. It's called a charge for a bank. Ticket is the price that we pay to watch a movie, airline, or a bus ride. Then we have fees when we talk about school or colleges, that's the price. And premium is the price that we pay when we buy an insurance service. So these were a few examples of the types of prices and the names or the nomenclature for the pricing. Now, price, in the next module that we will be studying in the coming chapter, we will look at important components like internal factors of pricing, external factors of pricing, what are the objectives of pricing, the methods of pricing, and pricing strategies. So these are the topics that we'll be studying in detail in the coming module. Well, students, now we come to the third P, which is place. Place, we all know, is the component of the marketing mix which is to do with delivery of service. It includes all your channels of distribution. Yes, so here we are going to talk about place with regards to services. Since service, we all know, has 3 important parameters where place assumes a lot of importance, or delivery includes a lot of importance, and this is service is simultaneous. We've spoken about this earlier, that service is produced and consumed at the same time. Another important aspect is perishability, that it cannot be stored or transported and it is highly perishable, the service. Yes, and also keeping in mind that there is inseparability of the service provider and the person and the service that he's providing. So owing to inseparability, simultaneity, perishability makes the delivery or distribution of service very crucial function and assumes a lot of importance. And lastly, one should always match the service to the location and distribution channel. Now what we mean by that is that if there is a fine dining restaurant, the location is important. Where will you deliver it? Would it be in an upscale locality of a city, or in the slums, or outside the city? Definitely you would want to have a fine dine in an upscale market, right? Similarly, a holiday resort, where do you think should it be delivered? In the city or outskirts of the city or the countryside? Definitely the countryside or the outskirts, than away from the regular hustle bustle of city, right? A resort is more suitable. So here by place we mean the delivery, the location of service that will be provided. Okay, now we come to the third P, which is place. Now we all know that by place we mean that the distribution of the product, be it goods or services, from the producer to the end customer. Right? So place is a function of marketing which makes the product available. Most importantly, pay attention that it overcomes the barrier of time and distance. So the barrier of time, making goods available, making services available, the time that they are needed, and distance, physically moving the goods from the marketplace to the homes of consumers. So place is the distribution channel which helps to overcome the barrier of time and distance. Now, the purpose of distribution could be mass distribution or selective distribution or exclusive distribution. There are a number of levels in the distribution channel: direct distribution versus multi-marketing and location decisions. Intermediaries are appointed. There are agents versus resellers. There are brokers and commission agent. Now all these people who are part of the supply chain, they actually work towards making great efficiency in the market, in marketing the goods to the target market. There is also an option of direct marketing nowadays where you don't really need any intermediaries and the producer is directly in touch with the consumer, as in case of electronic marketing nowadays. The whole objective of this function is to match the supply and the demand. So the supply is made available to the demand by use of various distribution channels. Now when we talk about place, there are various functions of the distribution system. For example, giving information about the product and service, promoting products and services, contacting, finding, prospecting, soliciting new customers, matching the needs of the customers to the end product, negotiating on behalf of the company for the best possible price, actually physically distributing, which is transportation and storage, financing, giving options of financing, and risk taking, so insurance. And okay, the fourth P in the services marketing mix is promotion. Well, promotion is nothing but communication which is made to the public in an attempt to influence them to buy the product. And it is done by various tools which combine to represent the promotion mix, which we'll be talking about in a moment. Now in services can be easily replicated. Services are pretty similar. So promotion becomes very important when you want to differentiate your services product. So service providers offering identical services, for example airlines or banks or insurance companies, they invest a lot on advertising their services, and this is very crucial in attracting the customers in a segment where the services are close to identical. Well, when we talk about promotion, there is something called the promotion mix, which is the company's marketing program comprising of 4 important promotion aspects. One is advertising. So if you can see here, there's advertising. Second is sales promotion. Third is public relations, and the fourth is personal. Now promotion tools, advertising is nothing but an non-personal communication which is usually in a paid form, is persuasive in nature, which prompts people or influences the target customers to buy their product. So that's advertising. It could be in print, published, or it could also be on electronic mediums like net or TV or radio. Then is sales promotion. Sales promotion is a very short-term incentive which is given to customers to encourage them to buy. For example, if you have 40% extra which is given for a product, or you may have one-on-one free, or you have a free coupon, or you have a trial offer, or if you have a small sachet pack which is given, or if you have discounts, 20-30% discounts. So these are short-term incentives, mostly in monetary value, given to the customer for them to. In promotion tools, the third tool is public relations or marketing communications, the process in which the company tries to create an image, a positive image, a desired image in the market, in the minds of the customers. And the last, not the least, is personal selling. Personal selling is face-to-face selling, meeting people and making a presentation and pitching your product, negotiating, and finally selling it. So personal selling. So we've spoken about promotion, which is important to promote your product in the market. It comprises of advertising, promotions, public relations, and well, now we come to the fifth P of the services marketing mix, and it is people. Well, there are two types of people which are involved in service. One is a service provider, which is the employees, and the other is the customer or the consumer, which is the guest. So you have internal customers and external customers. These are two parties or people part of the marketing mix. People play a very important role in services and create customer perceptions. Therefore, they should have appropriate interpersonal skills, attitude, and service knowledge. People alone can make or break the service experience. So people are very, very important. Very famously, the Marriott works by the philosophy of you take care of the people and the people will take care of your guests. So it's very important, especially to also take care of your people, internal people, your employees. No amount of good facilities actually can make up for poor service. So it's very important that external people, guests, customers, customer service is priority. At the same time, equally important is your internal customers, that they are taken care of well so that they can give good service to your end customer. So this is the people component of the marketing mix. Moving on to processes. Well, from the customer's point of view, the most vivid impression of service occurs in the service encounter, the first service encounter, and that is called as the moment of truth. Moment of truth is when the customer interacts with the service firm, and there are multiple moments of truth. And moments of truth was actually a concept which was derived from the Scandinavian airline, where each one of their 10 million customers came in contact with 5 employees. Thus, the airline said that there are 50 million moments of truth. Each one has to be managed well. And only when each moment of truth is managed well, then they can prove that they are the best. So the term moment of truth originated in the Scandinavian airline, and moment of truth is every interaction that happens of the employee with the guest. The concept of service encounter is the second thing. The service encounter concept was put forth by Richard Norman. Well, most services are a result of direct contact between the customer and the service provider. At this stage, the customer realizes the perceived service quality. Now, one is moment of truth, second is service encounter in a process. Now, moving on, we have something called the service cascade. Well, the service cascade refers to the series of encounters right from the time the customer comes to take the service. Now, processes are basically all the procedures, all the mechanism, all the flow of activity that ensure consistent service delivery. There is a lot of close coordination that is required to close the gaps between the promises and the delivery. Okay. For example, if you talk about a banquet event is booked and execution. There is a procedure for each variable like SPS for raw material, storage conditions, job specification, standard recipes, standard physiology, standard training, SOPs. All these form the processes. Yeah, there is also an important term which we'll be studying later, which is blueprinting. A blueprint, which is basically a plan it's an analytical tool that is helpful in identifying the service encounter in which typically the guests will participate as they move through the service process. So services, again, we will look in detail. For now, we are familiarizing ourselves with these important jargon in processes, which is moment of truth, service encounter, service cascade, and processes. Moving to physical evidence. Well, physical evidence is the environment in which the service is delivered, and while the firms and this is the place where the firms and the customers interact. It provides tangible cues and is termed as physical evidence. So now we know that physical evidence is giving tangibility to the intangible service. So if this is a way of making the service tangible, and why do we need the service to be tangibilized? So that it can be measured, and if it can be measured, then satisfaction can be measured. So it's very important to use the physical evidence in order to create an impactful service. For example, airlines. Now, if you take the example of airlines, airlines fly, it's an air transport to transport people from one place to another. Now, how is physical evidence used in an airline? Well, airline offer premium travel as well as economy class. Or in the premium travel, in the business class, you will have tea, coffee, all sorts of beverages, alcohol served to you, personalized service. Whereas in an economy, no frills. Yeah, you'll have to pay for everything. The seats are smaller. So this is the way that the same airline, same aircraft, you create difference in the service by using physical evidence. Or in the case of having a tea had in a tea stall, tea had in a fast food, tea had in a restaurant, tea had in a 5-star hotel. The physical evidence changes the entire experience of the service altogether. So the environment in which the service is delivered and where the firm and customer interact, any tangible component that facilitates performance or communication of the service is important. So typically, when we talk about physical evidence, it includes the service-scape, the environment, and this service-scape is made up of the exterior facility and the interior facility. Okay, exterior facility is the facade and internal is the ambience. And other tangibles are other tools like uniform, brochures, printouts, menus that are given. Now with this, we come to the end of services marketing mix, and we will meet soon to discuss each of the components of the services marketing mix. Till then, take care and revise what you've done. Bye.